Hello, good morning. Gary Champion, Psychic Medium. I hope you can hear me okay. For some reason, they're mowing. We've had all this rain, now our grass is all green and everything. So if you hear one of those blowers, leaf blowers come along, just ignore it. I got up all excited to write on a book this morning, and I'm writing along, and everything's going great, and mediums get interrupted all the time. I can be eating dinner with my wife someplace or even here at home, and I just get all this stuff that because I'm relaxed, it just floods in, and we talk about it, and I tell her things, and she writes it down, and eventually it's going to end up in a book at some point. I'm going to force her to write a crazy book about I'm married to a crazy person. Well, I'm writing, and all of a sudden someone says genetic change. And I had been thinking about this virus this morning and where is it going to lead us? Not in the short term. In the short term, a lot of people are going to die. Long term probabilities or certainties, depending on what angle you take on it, is that every time we get another virus in our system, this isn't speculation. Everything I say is not speculation. I'm hearing it from the other side, so therefore I trust it as being 100% true. Every virus that hits us causes genetic change. I'm not a doctor, certainly not a scientist, but I think they would agree with me that, and these are passed down. Just like, remember, I was going to give blood once. Thought it'd be my patriotic duty to give a little blood. And they gave me a piece of paper to fill out. And on there, I put that I'd had polio. They didn't even want to talk to me. They said, we can't take that because you have that live virus and it'll be there. Now, maybe they can filter it out now, but they said at that time, we can't, it's in the blood. And you give that to someone who doesn't, they might get it. They didn't know. And this is a long time ago, I must say, 40 years ago. Anyway. But, and even me being a psychic medium can be genetically handed down. I believe that absolutely because my grandmother was that way. Her son, my father, had a lot of ability that he never talked about. He'd just smile about it. He'd say, well, I think this is going to happen. And he'd smile about it. And then sure enough, it would. So, I'm not saying genetic damage, although it could be phrased that way. It's genetic change. Our DNA is changed whenever any kind of illness like that comes through. It attaches, changes our DNA. And what are the results of that going to be down the road? Because I think we're going to experience this thing forever. We get flu shots every year because somebody doesn't know how to process food, and we end up with a flu. And countries like ours have sort of let that go. We don't blame anybody. We just say blah, blah, blah and get a shot. And because the drug companies are happy, they're selling shots. But at some point, how many of these can we absorb into our DNA without some kind of further change? You know, maybe we'll have 7 fingers. Possible, because and genetic change happens differently in everybody. Um, some person can, well, there are animals existing where Chernobyl was in Russia, where the nuclear plant melted down. Just uh, animals living there. You can bet your bottom dollar that they're genetically changed and they're going to enter the ecosystem and reproduce in some way, and that genetic damage or change will be passed on. Some of it might be great. Maybe they smell better. Maybe they run faster. But I don't want to be the one to eat deer meat to find out that now I have two noses. No, it's a lot of speculation in this video. But at the foundation of it, it's scientifically true. I actually said the word scientifically true. I don't care anything for science. I know it does great things, but I don't have a scientific mind. I can barely add numbers together and spell. So I admire scientists, don't want to be one. Anyway, this little video about the possibilities in the future. And I was just hearing that we're going to be genetically altered by having this. And we'll pass whatever it is that's genetically changed down to our children. Maybe they won't be able to reproduce. Enough damage to that area and you're done for. Maybe it causes slow sperm in males, resulting in fewer babies being born. Maybe it speeds it up. And the guy's got a lot of children. We just don't know. No way, no. And people who have slow sperm, they don't know why they have it. It's probably because their father had it. It's genetic, it's passed on. I don't know why I'm picking sperm. I don't know. It just came out of the air somewhere. It's an easy one to get. So, in the realm of speculation, this is one to file away. Those of you who are young and will see this change, and I believe scientists will attribute it to something like this. Some people won't be genetically altered in any way that affects mankind, period. Just takes one. Just takes one to be genetically altered in some unusual way and for him to reproduce. And now it's in the gene pool. And over a long period of time, we've seen what that does. People with larger brains survive, those that don't go extinct. When the asteroid hit the Earth, and I believe it did, the only thing that survived were bacteria and small little animals that could jump in a crack and get away. Anyway, isn't it interesting that in the year 2020, I can make a video speculating on something I know nothing, absolutely nothing about. I know less than zero about genetics, but I heard it. I'm writing on a book. Someone says we're going to be changed genetically by these things that we're absorbing that are coming out of people just being stupid. Like going to the grocery market and pushing a cart around and not washing your hands and taking it home and touching your child on the nose, and now your kid gets this COVID-19. When you've been someplace and you've touched something, I'm saying it's okay because I do it all the time, but I don't touch my face or my nose or my mouth or anything, and I come home, or if I can do it there, I wash my hands. Don't want to bring that home to my wife. Don't want her to give it to any of her family. So, a very speculative video and yet there's no speculation in it. People will say he's just making that crap up for a video. Well, I don't get that many looks on my videos anyway, so it's not like the whole world's going to say, oh, look at Gary Champion's thing. He has this interesting idea. This is for regular viewers. It's just a thought. It's a thinking video. I did one before. It's a thinking video about how desperate it is that we should alter what we're doing in order to preserve mankind in some way that maybe we recognize simply by not butchering animals in the marketplace with a hatchet. Actually saw that in my head. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.